This is VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. The Islamic State terrorist group said Tuesday, without providing evidence, that it was responsible for a series of attacks in Sri Lanka that killed 321 people and injured hundreds on Easter Sunday. Also Tuesday, the country's Minister of Defense told Parliament the attacks were carried out in retaliation for attacks at two mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand last month. A police spokesman said Tuesday that 40 people have been taken into custody in connection with the massacre. Oil prices reached a 6-month high on Tuesday after the Trump administration announced it would no longer exempt countries from U.S. sanctions if they continue to buy Iranian crude oil. It's a move aimed at imposing a complete oil embargo on Iran. Waivers granted to 8 countries, including big Iranian crude importers China, India, Japan, Turkey, and South Korea, are due to expire on May 2nd. The European Union is joining those criticizing the U.S. decision to impose the sanctions. AP correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
Since President Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal and announced sanctions on importers of Iranian oil, the European Union has put measures in place to sidestep those sanctions, including a way to keep financial supply lines to Tehran open and protect European businesses operating there. A European Commission spokeswoman today expressed regret over the U.S. decision to remove any exemptions to those sanctions, saying it risks further undermining the international effort to stop Iran developing nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, the move has sent global oil prices climbing. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Just over a month after a cyclone rocked and devastated part of southeastern Africa, another storm is brewing. A new tropical cyclone forming in the Indian Ocean looks set to strike the Comoros Islands, Mozambique, and Tanzania this week. This is VOA News. Somali officials say a senior al-Shabaab official has defected from the group and surrendered to the Somali government in the southwestern Gedo region. Officials say Aden Abdi Mohammed, known as Aden Obe, surrendered Tuesday near the main Bardhare town. Aden Obe surrendered with another al-Shabaab official identified as Food Aden Mohammed, who is described as a taxation official. Protesters in Sudan on Tuesday were increasing their call for military leaders to give way to a civilian governing council following the ouster on April 11th of Omar al-Bashir, who had served as president for more than 30 years. Hundreds of protesters arrived Tuesday by train in Khartoum, reinforcing protesters already in the capital city, calling for military rulers to step down. Ugandan police have placed musician-turned-opposition lawmaker Robert Chagulanyi, known as Bobby Wine, under house arrest. Correspondent Halima Athumani reports for VOA from Bobby Wine's home in Wakizo, Uganda.
Chagulanyi says Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni is responsible and must follow the law.
Does the law give me my right to earn a living from my music as a profession? Yes. Am I allowed to practice my profession? No. Has there been any citing of the law in this blockade? No. So, because of that and many other injustices that are being melted, not only on me but other Ugandans, we are calling for protests. But we want to do it within the law.
President Trump met Tuesday with the top Twitter executive. VOA's White House Bureau Chief Steve Herman reports.
Twitter Chief Executive Officer Jack Dorsey met with Trump in the Oval Office. Their discussion occurred just hours after the president, on the popular social media platform, complained Twitter treats him unfairly. Trump, who has nearly 60 million Twitter followers, said he would have a lot more, except for what he claims are deliberate efforts by the company to thwart a larger online fan base. Trump later tweeted it was a great meeting about Twitter and social media in general, and he looks forward to keeping an open dialogue. Steve Herman, VOA News, at the White House.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined millions of his citizens Tuesday in casting a ballot in the third phase of the world's biggest general election. As many as 900 million of India's 1.3 billion citizens are eligible to vote for thousands of candidates vying for 543 seats in the lower house of Parliament. The voting will end on May 19th. The final results will be announced on May 23rd. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world, around the clock, at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz. VOA News.